joining us on the show. Don't forget as well, you can listen back to the whole show as a podcast. That will be on the website at purewestradio.com. And we had some good stuff in the first hour of the show this evening as well. Let's have a roundup of the local rugby. And we have to start actually by paying our respects and sending our condolences. But some really sad news actually from the weekend was the loss of Rob Benjamin, stalwart at Whitland in both rugby and cricket. I can remember interviewing Rob many a time, going back years with Bill on our previous show. Fraser, obviously, is a former Whitland rugby player, and Gordon working in the news as well. You'll both have known Rob really well, and this is a sad loss, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very, very sad. Heart goes out, of course, to Sean Gethy and Anne-Marie, his family. And yeah, speaking to people at the cricket dinner on Sunday, and obviously the likes of Richard Merriman and Trevor Evans at Whitland as well, very upset about it. And he was genuinely had positive experiences or nice things to say with him. A genuinely nice guy and a stalwart. It's a frequently used word, but that is how you describe him. Put so much into Whitland Cricket Club and the rugby club as well in so many roles.
Yeah,
it's Gordon, really sad news.
When I remember speaking to him with Bill, and clubs, rugby, cricket, football, they need people like Rob, don't they, to survive, because they give up their time and they work so hard. And without people like Rob, we wouldn't have clubs that we do across Pembrokeshire.
He was a real soldier at Whitland. He did everything. He was involved in everything with the rugby, the cricket. He even played darts as well. I remember Rob as a young lad when I started with the West Wales Guardian. He worked for the Western Telegraph in the print unit there then, and he's a lovely character. He always had time to speak to you, and he was quite forthright as well, Rob. I'll never forget. He used to rub people up the wrong way, but once you got to know him, he's a great character. Great character. He wanted things done, perfectly, and he ran his ship as a work and in Whitland like clockwork. Everybody knew where they were when they were with Rob. And he was a great announcer as well at the ground in the latter days. Fraser would have been playing then. I don't think he mentioned your name much because he didn't score any tries. But he
depends if he did the substitutes.
Yeah. No, but really, they are invaluable, those type of people, and Rob is up there with the very, very best. Yeah. And I mean the Kirk boys that I know and that generation. He'd be sorely missed by all those lads. He was a great character, and it's gone too young in my opinion. But there you go.
Well, look, from us all at Pure West Radio, we send our condolences to Rob's family.
Definitely.
Whitland's game didn't go ahead as a mark of respect, but rugby did go ahead for all of our sides across Pembrokeshire over the weekend. It was cup action, wasn't it, for the majority of our sides? Narberth going down. They had a tricky home game, didn't they, with Pontypool? They went down there.
Yeah, they lost by 50 points, 24, but that's not a bad performance by Narberth, to be fair. Pontypool are a very, very strong unit, so that wasn't a bad result.
Milford Haven had a big win in the Division 2 Cup. They won 40 points to 50. Fraser, I know you were busy this weekend. I don't know if you got down to see St David's. I
was at St David's Tumble. I mean, look, there's a lot of scepticism around this WRU Cup. I actually feel a bit sorry for teams with this new group format. I mean, last year they localised groups and made sure everyone had 3 games, so that was different because there's no other rugby going on. Now, for some teams, in your 22-game season, the last thing you want is 3 cup games, and you've got some teams, now St David's are one of them, I think, who are actually technically out of the competition, but still got to play a 3rd game they don't need. So I do understand why certain clubs chose not to enter it. But yeah, it is, in Milford Haven's case, I think it might be useful for them to win this season, so obviously going there and notching one in that sense then in a game where they win under pressure might help. So it does serve a purpose, but I also feel a bit sorry for teams having to cram these fixtures in now.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, it was a busy weekend, Tom, down in Saundersfoot, wasn't it? We previewed on the show the World Rowing Championships. It was the sprint section over the weekend, and you got down to that. How was that in Saundersfoot? Because that sounded brilliant.
you know what? It was really, really cool to witness it and to see the logistics around it. They'd never done it on a beach that was so tidal before. So the rowers have to row out 250 metres, which also happens to be the tidal reach of Saunders Foot. So they're having to move the start line 250 metres, reset all of the buoys, and you can just see them all doing it. It was like being on like a movie set. Everything just moving in tandem with the change of the tide. And you had the likes of Helen Glover competing. And Steve Redgrave was down there on Sunday as well, just chilling out in Saunders Foot on what is, well, on the world stage. We've been broadcast internationally at that. And such a strange event. You're so used to watching rowing where they go in straight lines, whereas here they've got to go in and out of these buoys, U-turn on the red buoy and come straight back, and then get out and touch a button on the beach. It's nothing like I've ever seen before.
It was a windy weekend as well, wasn't it? I was wondering that Friday, Saturday, did that make it harder?
Yes, so on the Saturday it was very choppy, and the wind was complete cross shore as well. So the boat handlers are there trying to point them where to go basically, and you should see that they're having to kick the front of their boats hard just to keep it in a straight line and to really make sure they didn't fall foul of those buoys. It was really interesting to watch, and each race was like 2.5 minutes, just quick fire.
It does get choppy out in that bay though at Saunders Foot. I can remember mackerel fishing trips when I was younger. Bouncy out there. It didn't stop me catching quite a few, but it could get a bit choppy. Well done to everyone at Merlin's Bridge Amateur Boxing Club. They had their boxing night, didn't they, back on at Withybush, and Fraser, that went well by all accounts.
Yeah, they always put on a good night there. I think there were a couple of split decisions that they were disappointed about, with that his boxing, of course. But no, well, and Sean O'Sullivan, I think, had a good win for him. He won a split, and he actually lost on a split in the last show, so I was delighted for him. And I think he won the boxer of the night as well. So
Stuart James's son was fighting from Penner Robbins.
Oh, really?
And he boxed very well. Right. I'm not sure if he shared the fight or not.
He might have done. But also, just a bit breaking here, Ben, from the Indoor Cricket League, just been sent to me now. Neyland have beaten Pembroke Dock in the first game, and Llan Ryan have beaten Neyland second.
Oh, that's why we had to hear that.
So
squeeze that in,
If we do make finals night, I might make myself available for that one.
Great, you've just been rested again, haven't you, this Monday?
Rested, mate. Yeah.
Absolutely. Liam Cullen, we should give a mention to. He came on for Swansea. Couldn't help them get the result though, could he?
Well, no, he's 4-0 by the time he came on in his defence. So, I don't think much blame attached to him. But good to see him return to the pitch, and timely as well with Joel Piro's red card. They're going to be shortage strikers now with the Cardiff game next Sunday, so he may yet start his first South Wales derby. It could be on the cards now.
Joe Allen
yes, we do.
Lillian Park, then, was it?
That's right. But on that note, of course, a bit of concern about Joe now. Not playing since September 17. Isn't going to be playing against Reading tomorrow night. Wales' first World Cup game 5 weeks away, so they'll be a little anxious about that now.
Yeah, Tuesday 29th November, I think, as well, is England-Wales, isn't it? England with a bit of a right-back crisis. So, I mean, a few weeks ago, we had about 7 right-backs, and they all seem to be getting injured. So, what are we thinking? We can maybe touch on this a bit nearer the time, but I'm a bit nervous about that one, that Tuesday
Are you
game.
really?
Yeah.
Are you saying? You shouldn't be. You've got the greatest players on the planet. So, we haven't got a chance against England.
I think you're talking yourself down deliberately there, Gordon.
Was it that obvious?
Joe Allen would be a miss. He'd be a miss, wouldn't he?
He'd be a huge miss. He'd be as critical as missing Ramsey or Bale. Yeah, 100%.
He was the missing piece in those last matches.
He's that important. Yeah,
I'm sure you'll find a right back by then.
Well,
football's coming home after all. Good.
It's coming home, mate.
We did have a plethora of them not so long ago.
I know.
Yeah, a problem now. Listen, we're almost out of time. Enjoyed it as ever. I think there's going to be quite a bit more as we get nearer to the World Cup, so I look forward to that. Thank you very much, Tom, Gordon, Fraser. We will be back again next Monday at the same time. Make sure you join us 7 until 9. Live, of course, on the Facebook page between 8 and 9, as always. Zoe Coleman with Metal Mondays coming next on Pure West. Good night.